when you're doing an investment inside of a Roth IRA, you'll get a 25 to 30% boost in the return.
So the reason I wanted to reach out is because I run a real estate meetup. It's based in Maryland and I run it on a monthly basis. I'm part of the larger investment group with Pace Morby and a couple other multifamily group. It has come, a few times in the past that I have people coming in. They have their day job and they're thinking about getting into real estate. And then we've been talking about, oh, you can actually leverage your self-directed IRA. Do you know how to even do that? And a lot of people just don't know too much about it, but they're interested in. That's why when Joe was in one of my meetups, I have this self-directed IRA guy I can connect you with. That's how you came in. So
I
that's a
know.
long
Yeah.
story short.
No, that's great. No, we've known Joe for a long time. He's a friend of the company's. He knows the founder of our company, and he's a great resource.
What would you say, what kind of information will kind of pique people's interest?
The best illustration for why these things are good is we take an investment and we put it into a self-directed IRA, a Roth IRA, and we compare it to one that's outside of a Roth IRA. And in this case, we took an apartment building, side by side, identical buildings, two owners, and we compared the returns that you get. The most compelling reason to do this is because you're deferring or eliminating the taxes and the capital gains. Now, you don't get the appreciation allowance, but when you go to sell the building, you're going to pay some of that back and you're going to pay capital gains tax. So we find that when you're doing an investment inside of a Roth IRA, you'll get a 25 to 30% boost in the return. Now, if you do it inside of a traditional IRA, you'll still get that boost. But when you begin to take distributions from that IRA after you're 59 and a half, you'll pay taxes according to the income tax level that you're paying at that time. That's the biggest reason, is to boost the earnings significantly.
Right. And then deferred taxes, right? For like a tax shelter in a way. You got to pay taxes eventually, but you kind of kick that can down the road. Is that
Well,
correct
if you put
assessment?
your money into a Roth, and this is, you have one of your questions, so should I open Roth accounts for the kids? Yeah, as soon as you can, because once money goes into a Roth, you never pay any taxes on the earnings at all. And I'll compare it in this way. The traditional, the government gives you a little pat on the head and says, great, we'll give you a little tax deduction. You're
Right.
saving for your retirement. You're doing a good thing for yourself and for us. And so they've, in essence, subsidized the seed that you're going to plant to grow your investments.
Correct.
But you're going to plant it, you're going to water it or pray for rain, you're going to deal with a blight, you're going to harvest it, you're going to take it to market, you're going to sell it. And then the government's going to say, well, where's my share? Okay. So
Right.
you're going to pay that on the way out. So after you're 59 and a half, or whenever you start taking distributions, you'll pay that. The Roth, the government doesn't subsidize anything. There's no tax break. And when you put money in there, it's after tax money, but it'll never be taxed. Probably the biggest example of that is Peter Thiel, who, one of the PayPal founders, put his PayPal shares into his Roth. And he has north of $1 billion, with a B, $1 billion in his Roth IRA, and it will never be taxed.
It's
So
tax going in, right? So there's never tax going
yeah,
out.
you've already paid taxes on it. You've paid income taxes on it. So it's after-tax income that's going to be
Right.
put into the Roth.
Right.
So yeah, and that's the reason why you get started young, because you want to do it in the Roth.
Right. How early can you start a Roth IRA account for the kids? As soon you have to pay
As
them
soon
on
as you
the
can. Yes, as soon as you can. And you can, classic case is the real estate agent who uses pictures of their kids on a brochure, pays the kids.
right,
That's
right.
so on.
So model.
Yeah,
Oh, I use my kids' picture on the
there
Instagram
you
all
go.
the time.
There you go. So
They're
you
in the
can pay.
background.
And how many times do you send Instagram out? How many times do people look at your page? Well, your child was getting paid $1 for every time someone saw that picture. Yeah, you could
Right.
contribute up to $7,000 a year for each of your
Uh-huh.
children into the Roth.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. I see.
So that's a great
Okay.
way for them to get started. Yeah. And you know
So
what's really fun about it is they can invest right alongside of you
mhm.
in deals. So we have whole families where the spouses have IRAs, either Roth or traditional. The kids have them.
Mhm.
The kids have education savings accounts, and the parents have health savings accounts. And they use all that money together. They pool it and invest.
Mhm. So the kids are so young, right? So I assume I will be making investment decision on their behalf, right? Do I get like a checkbook? I just write check, or does it need to be like wiring in and out?
What I would do is, you have a tax preparation person or a CPA that you work with. I would have them tell you how they want it set up so that it's easy for them to keep account of that. So you'd be paying paying your kids for some service, their picture on the brochure, for example, and you'll want to document that, maybe get them passbook savings accounts, and you put that money in there, and the money goes from the passbook savings account into the Roth. But your tax prep person, I would ask my accountant on that, exactly how to set that up so that it's very clean.
I see. I think the Roth IRA is there's a limit. Like for me, I make high income. I get a tax out of it every year. So I'm like, so me and my husband would combine making W-2 income over 300K a year. So are we tapped out, just not eligible for the Roth?
The traditional, you use the deduction as you go up in income. The Roth, you lose the contribution as you go up in income. It just diminishes to nothing. And so
Right.
you may have a high enough income where you can't contribute to the Roth. What you can do is contribute to a traditional and do a Roth conversion. And you'll pay taxes on that. In other words, you're going to get a tax break to put it into the traditional. And then you're going to do a conversion, and you're going to, in essence, give up that tax break, because you're going to be taxed on the money that goes over at whatever rate you're paying now, or in the year that you do the conversion. So that's what you referred to in your list of
Like a
questions as the
backdoor.
backdoor Roth.
Is that the same one people talking about backdoor IRA?
That's
So
backdoor Roth.
so the timing will need to be strategic about when to convert, right? Because I assume that's a tax rate for that tax year when you convert.
Yeah, if your income fluctuate, you want to pick a bad year. 2020 for a lot of people was a tough year because incomes collapsed. And so a
Right.
lot of people did Roth conversions that year because they knew the tax rate was going to be low.
Right.
And you don't have to convert it all at once. For example, if you have a duplex apartment in your traditional IRA, you can convert a portion of the ownership each year. So you can convert a fifth of it over to your Roth, and you'll pay taxes, but slowly, or you can just shove it over there, rip the Band-Aid off and pay. It's between you and your accountant and your
Right.
husband.
Just another quick question about fix and flip, because a lot of my investors coming in their fix and flipping business. I get this a lot. Like there's a what we call the disqualified transaction. You can use the IRA to do your own flip. Can we get some clarification on that? Like, can they use IRA to flip the houses for fix and flip business that they own?
Yeah, you can't do your own. So if you're the contractor, you can't use your IRA money to fund your business. That's considered self-dealing.
Self-dealing, right? That's my understanding.
There are some disqualified persons that you can't invest in, but you can always invest alongside of them. So
Oh,
you
so you can
you
invest
can't invest in your
alongside.
husband's business. He can't invest in your business, but you two can go invest as partners, funding a fix and flip. The
Oh,
way that
okay.
might work with your group is that someone has an IRA or 401k might agree to fund someone else's flip, and that someone else gets an IRA and agrees to fund their flip.
From your flip, so they swap.
They swap.
And there's
Yeah.
no problem.
There's
I
no
see.
problem with that. I mean, they're independent. They're separate parties. And we'll get into this because I do a lot of investing with my wife. I do a lot of it with coworkers. I have lent money to my nephew's business. There's all sorts of neat things that you can do there.
Right. Okay, cool. Well, that's enough for me I like that portion when you touch on you can start a self-directed IRA, even Roth for the kids as early as possible.
Absolutely.
And what's the timeline to, for example, from the time say, okay, Joe, I decided to go do this. What do they need to have, and how long does it take to get it complete set up?
Say you're going to fund a fix and flip. And so you execute a promissory note and a mortgage that's going to be filed with the courthouse.
Right.
And we have something called a promissory note acknowledgement that the borrower signs. It's a little checkbox thing. It takes 2 minutes.
Right.
And then let's say your account's already open. All right. You have money in it to do this. And you submit that promissory note, the mortgage, the note acknowledgement with an asset purchase directive. And we'll show the group. I'll walk through the form. It's not difficult to do. You're telling us, send this much money to this person over here for this fix and flip. And so we document exactly what the money is going to, who it's going to, and what the purpose of it is. And all that paperwork gets submitted within 24 to 48 hours. That money is in the hands of the borrower.
Oh, that was really fast. Yeah.
Yeah. The timing thing to consider or worry about, so to speak, is when you open your account, if you're bringing money over from another institution, say an old 401k, or
Yes.
you're transferring money from another IRA over.
Yeah.
We tell people to give it about 2 weeks because
Yeah.
the institutions move slow. Qualified money gets looked at and scrutinized a little bit more
Right.
than just sending a Venmo payment to somebody. So we
Right.
say to give it 2 weeks. So you open your account, and if you're transferring from another IRA, a similar
Mhm,
account, we would
mhm.
do that for you. You would tell us at the time you open the account, I want to transfer money into my account from Schwab. Here's how much it is. And you'll give us some
Mhm.
information. You'll give us your account number
Yeah,
and we'll pull the money
Fidelity.
over. Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll pull the money over. If it's an old 401k or a teacher's savings program or something like that, we'll give you your new account number and our banking instructions. And then you go to that custodian and you say, I want to do a rollover to Camify, my
Mhm.
new Camify account. And they'll have a form or a process that you'll go through to get that done because you would initiate that on a rollover. We initiate the transfers.
I see. And it has to be the IRA account not with their current job, right? It has to be for the previous job they left
Yeah,
at
generally it is. I mean, most employers don't allow you to pull money out if you have an
while they're
active
in service.
401k, right? They don't let you take that out. But again, I would check with them because I set up my own 401k and there were provisions in there. Am I allowed to take money out and move it somewhere else? And of
Mhm.
course, I said yes because it's me. Your employer might, after you are vested or after you've been with the company 5 years, they may let you do stuff like that. Generally, it's you have to have left the job and you're no longer contributing, and then you can roll all over a part of it.
Oh, I see. How about pension? Like government pension here in Maryland, a lot of government workers, they have pension. Can that be rolled over as well? Is
Yes.
that the same
Yes.
thing?
Any government pro 403Bs, 457s, TSPs, any public
Yes.
sector.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
any public sector pension plan. And sometimes they'll give you annuities along with it, and they'll give you an IRA on top of it. And all that stuff can be moved over.
Okay. So I imagine this could be some sort of consulting process when you consult with a new client to advise them, yes, we can do this versus that. No, you probably need to talk to an employer, figure it out,
Yeah,
right?
we'll tell you, we've gone through it all before, so we'll tell you what you need to do and who you need to talk to. We like to do an intake call with everyone that we do business with who might be a potential client is to get a feel for what they're doing and what they
Right.
want to achieve. And then we match our services with what they're trying to do. And also, we don't have their whole financial picture. We're
Mhm.
just part of it. So
Right.
we want to make sure that we're not tripping over anything that a financial advisor or a CPA or
Right.
tax prep person has set up. We want to make sure we fit. So we speak with a lot of financial advisors and CPAs and tax prep people. The
Mhm.
client says, I don't know. Can I have my accountant talk to you? Yeah, sure. We love it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great setup. I love how you say, "Yeah, I'm gonna tap in with your resources and like talk to your tax professional because they will know more and they usually give out more correct information
Yeah.
than the
Yeah,
owner. Owner usually like clueless. It's like, I don't know, I just file whatever I owe.
they know you better than you know yourself when it comes to your
Correct.
financial picture.
Yeah. Well, I thank you so much for joining the call.